The Book of Jonah is a remarkably accurate historical account of Assyria. Let's dive into history. My name is Demian, and this is Growing Together. I used to be an atheist, but today, as a person of faith, I believe every word in the story of Jonah. Frankly, I used to think that the story was ridiculous. That's no longer the case. In my last video, I narrate the story of Jonah with the NIV translation. It's a great story. Today, I love the story of Jonah. I get so much out of it. My son, who's 4 years old, asks me to read it every night, so it's one of the reasons why I dove so deeply into the story. But in this video, I'm just going to focus on the history. In my next video, I'll talk about its meaning. Although Jonah lived in the 8th century BC, the book was written no later than the 3rd century BC. And most scholars place it around the 5th or 6th century BC. Scholars claim that this story is satirical. It's a joke. Let's find out why they're wrong. The small book is a remarkable account of the Assyrian Empire during that time. Let's begin with their wickedness. Assyrians were proud of their violence. They depict themselves in their artwork, surrounded by the cut-off limbs and living impalements of those they conquered. Their brutality was a staple of pride in their culture. The Assyrian leader, Ashur-nasir-pal II, skinned alive those who resisted him and put their skins on his city walls. His son, Shalmaneser III, hacked apart the hands and feet of those they captured and impaled them while they still lived, where they could suffer for as long as 3 days before they died. And then, he hung their heads on his walls during his reign. King Esarhaddon wore a necklace of the decapitated heads of his nobles and bragged about creating so much blood from disembowelment that his horses had to wade around the river of blood he created. That was the terror that anyone who resisted the Assyrian Empire had to deal with in the time of Jonah. When Jonah was angry at God for not destroying Nineveh, that is what Jonah was talking about. We can understand why he felt they did not deserve forgiveness. The story also claims that the city of Nineveh was so big that it took 3 days to walk across. Historians all agree that Nineveh was the largest city in the world during the 8th century BC, but dispute a 3 days walk. However, when we account for the city mounds that surrounded the wider Nineveh area, it gives us a circumference of 95 kilometers. Considering that a day's walk is just over 30 kilometers, Jonah's account of Nineveh is remarkably accurate. In the description, you'll find several secular historical accounts of Nineveh's size. In the Bible, Jonah left the city and watched it from the east. Nineveh is located on the banks of the Tigris River, with hills on the east of the city. This would have given Jonah a good vantage point to observe it. At the end of the book of Jonah, it states that the city had 120,000 citizens. An ancient Assyrian inscription from 879 BC indicates that the city of Calah, which is not as large as Nineveh, had 69,574 people in it. The population of Nineveh 100 years later is right in the ballpark. In the story of Jonah, the king of Nineveh declares that even the animals and the livestock must put on sackcloth and join the people in their fast. This is another strange thing in the book. But according to the 5th century BC Greek historian Herodotus, the Assyrians cut off their own hair and the hair of their horses and their livestock to lament the death of their beloved general. Herodotus writes, "So the barbarians honored Mecistius' death in their customary way. Making their animals lament with them was customary, according to this Greek eyewitness historian." Jonah went to Nineveh around 770 BC. Prior to that date, Assyrian kings maintained their ritual yearly military campaigns. Their violence was part of their religion. Assyrian historical accounts claim a yearly military campaign for hundreds of consecutive years, pausing only because of internal strife, plagues, or the death of a king. King Shalmaneser IV kept this tradition until the year 769 BC, where historians agree that there was a 40-year unexplained end to the military campaigns. It is known in history as the period of stagnation of the Assyrian Empire. For a short while, they stopped their aspirations of world domination. What happened? No one knows. Unless, of course, you read the Book of Jonah. In the Book of Jonah, the Assyrian king states, "Let them give up their evil ways and their violence. Who knows? God may yet relent and with his compassion turn from his fierce anger, so that we will not perish." After this mysterious period of stagnation, the infamous Assyrian king Tiglath-Pileser III rekindled hostilities against all nations, including the unrepentant Israel, as prophesied in Isaiah 10:5 and 2 Kings 15:19. As history shows, the Book of Jonah contains detailed knowledge of the ancient Assyrian capital of Nineveh. Is the story of Jonah ahistorical? History tells me otherwise. I want to know what you think in the comments. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, and I'll see you next time.